For more than 70 years, a quiet unease has hung over a stretch of the Atlantic Ocean, a place where machines malfunction, compasses spin without direction, and entire aircraft vanish mid-flight without a single warning. No explosions. No wreckage. No final message. Only a chilling silence that leaves more questions than answers. This mysterious region, forming a triangle between Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico, has become one of the most unsettling legends in modern history. The Bermuda Triangle. A name that still sends a strange shiver down the spine of sailors, pilots, and anyone who hears the stories. But behind all the rumors, one incident continues to disturb experts more than any other. A disappearance so bizarre that even with today's advanced technology, no explanation feels complete. It happened on a calm winter evening in 1945. 5 Navy aircraft, known as Flight 19, took off for what should have been a routine training mission. The weather was clear, the pilots experienced, and the planes in perfect condition. Nothing unusual. Nothing dangerous. Yet, within hours, all 5 aircraft had slipped into the unknown. What truly unsettles historians is the radio communication from that day. The pilots sounded confused, almost alarmed, reporting compass failures and describing the sea beneath them as strangely white. One pilot insisted they were flying over land that shouldn't exist. Another warned that their instruments were acting as if they had entered a different world. Moments later, panic grew in their voices, then silence. Not a single aircraft from Flight 19 was ever found. Not even a piece of metal, despite one of the largest search operations in U.S. Navy history. To this day, the flight remains one of the most haunting unsolved cases in aviation. And the triangle did not stop with Flight 19. Over the decades, dozens of ships reported unusual behavior before disappearing. Some crews described sudden fog that appeared out of nowhere. Others reported their navigation systems cutting out all at once. In several cases, boats were later found floating peacefully, engines idle, lights still on, food on the table, yet without a single person on board. The ocean carried the vessel but kept its secrets. Scientists have tried to offer rational explanations. Some point to violent weather patterns formed by warm Atlantic currents. The storms here can develop faster than most pilots can react. Others speak of rogue waves, towering walls of water capable of sinking massive ships within seconds. But even these powerful theories can't quite explain how aircraft, flying thousands of feet above the surface, also disappear. Then comes one of the most fascinating scientific possibilities: methane gas hydrates beneath the ocean floor. When these gas pockets erupt, the water loses density, causing ships to sink instantly, almost as if swallowed. It's a terrifying scenario, but even this cannot explain why aircraft, flying high above, would vanish without a trace, as if swallowed by the very air around them. And so, the mystery deepens. Some believe the answer isn't purely scientific. They claim that the triangle is a strange zone where natural forces behave differently, where magnetic fields twist unpredictably. Some pilots have reported compasses spinning wildly when entering the area, pulling them off course. Others swear they traveled long distances in impossibly short periods, as if time itself shifted. There are even stories of strange glowing lights moving in patterns no aircraft on Earth can perform. Lights that dance in impossible arcs, that pulse like deliberate signals. Of course, none of this is officially confirmed, but the stories refuse to fade. Satellite studies in the 1970s revealed something unusual under the triangle. Deep trenches, underwater mountains, and magnetic anomalies unlike most regions on Earth. This area is geologically active, constantly shifting, constantly unpredictable. It creates perfect conditions for navigation errors, and perfect conditions for stories that never quite make sense. Despite all of this, modern ships and commercial airlines cross the Bermuda Triangle every single day without incident. Technology has improved. Tracking systems are stronger. Weather predictions are more accurate. Yet even now, every few years, an unexplained disappearance makes headlines again, reminding everyone that the mystery isn't entirely gone. One of the most strange modern reports came from a private pilot who claimed he was surrounded by a swirling tunnel-like cloud over the triangle. He said his instruments failed, the radio went silent, and he felt as though he moved hundreds of kilometers in only a few minutes. When he landed, radar records confirmed a bizarre time anomaly. His aircraft really had covered the distance far faster than possible. Scientists dismissed the report. But the radar logs? They remain unexplained. For every logical explanation, a new question seems to rise. If storms and waves are responsible, why is the wreckage so rarely found? If the area is dangerous, why does it behave normally most of the time? And perhaps the most haunting question of all, how many mysteries lie hidden beneath miles of dark, silent water? The ocean is Earth's last unexplored frontier. We know more about space than we do about the deep sea. And the Bermuda Triangle sits atop some of the deepest trenches in the Atlantic, places where sunlight never reaches and pressure crushes anything that sinks too far. If answers lie there, they may be locked away forever. There are stories that stretch the imagination even further. Fishermen describe being suddenly surrounded by whirlpools large enough to toss their vessels, only to find themselves miraculously returned to calm waters minutes later, far from the anomaly. Pilots report seeing phantom islands appear on radar, only to vanish when approached. Compasses spin without pattern. Time itself seems to stretch and compress in ways that challenge every law of physics we understand. In the end, the Bermuda Triangle is more than just a place on a map. It is a reminder of how powerful nature is, how limited our knowledge can be, and how small we truly are on this vast, unpredictable planet. It challenges our confidence in science, our belief in technology, and our assumption that every mystery must have a simple explanation. Despite all the theories, despite decades of searching, one truth remains. No one really knows what happens inside the Bermuda Triangle. Maybe one day we will discover the answer. Or maybe, some mysteries are meant to remain hidden, drifting quietly beneath the waves of the Atlantic, waiting, watching, and reminding us that the world is far stranger than we imagine. And as long as the triangle exists, we are reminded that not all corners of our planet are tamed, not all forces are understood, and some questions may never have answers. For those who dare to venture into its waters or cross its skies, the Bermuda Triangle is not merely a stretch of ocean. It is a challenge, a puzzle, and a warning. Every disappearance, every anomaly, every ghostly tale is a whisper. The universe is wider, stranger, and more secretive than we will ever fully know. And sometimes, silence tells more than words ever could.